Thanks, and thank you, the organizers, for inviting me and for organizing everything. I have to speak louder? Okay, so the two documents I decided to present today concern two Jewish men, the brothers Angelino and Lazaro Nantua, who lived in Gavi. And Gavi is a town in Genoese dominion. It's about 60 kilometers north of Genova in the mountains. It's about 80 kilometers south of Monferrato. And I went to Genova to do the research for my dissertation on the distinctive signs that the Jews had to wear in northern Italy at the time, like the yellow hat and the yellow badge. And so I first came across the second document that I'm presenting, the 1595 letter by the podesta of Gavi, who complains about Angelino and Lazaro Nantua, who are not wearing the yellow hat, and he fines them, and they don't pay the fines, and they persist not wearing the yellow hat, and so he gets very angry about that, and they in a way provoke him, because finally they're going to wear some kind of yellow hat, but they make it very luxurious, and so it infuriates him even more, which prompts him to write this letter to the Senate in Genova. And immediately this letter, when I read it, I was seeing the archive, struck me as unusual. I mean, I had seen Jews deal with issues of hats and badges, and I'd never seen them deal with it in this way, in this kind of provocative way. Usually they were more deferential, tried to negotiate, pay, or do something, try to please the authorities. And these two guys were doing exactly the opposite. So I was intrigued, and I thought, I should try to find something more about them. And so I digged more in the archives, and it turned out they actually left an interesting documentary trail, because I found a number of other documents that concerned them, including the long inventory that we'll discuss in a few minutes. So what I thought I'd do today is that I just give some background based on what I was able to find about Angelino and Lazaro Nantua, and then I have some brief remarks, questions about the two texts, and then hopefully there will be a discussion. So in 1567, the Jews were expelled from the territory of Genova. That's actually the time when ha-Cohen, who had moved with his family to Genova, that's when he moves to Monferrato, because all the Jews had to leave. But the commune of Gavi, where the Nantua family was living, wrote a letter to the Senate to ask that Alessandro Nantua, who is Angelino and Lazaro's father, and his family be allowed to stay, because he's been living there since 1548, and people like him a lot, and he's a moneylender, and they never had any problem with him or his family, and so they asked that he be allowed to stay, and they are allowed to stay, even though all the other Jews have to leave. So the Nantua family stayed there.